Welcome to the next episode of Treasure Chest, our very own fulfillment tools podcast with insights about things the industry talks about. Welcome to the second episode of our topic about RFPs, requests for proposal. In the last episode, we talked a lot about what's wrong with RFPs at the moment, where all the frustration comes from. And in this episode, we want to dive a little bit deeper in how we could make RFPs better with the same great results of choosing the best vendor. I'm still here, or again here, with Arne Tensfeldt, founder of
Thank you for having me.
Askensio. He's still joining us, and now we talk about maybe the future of RFPs. So last time we talked about all the frustrations. It's a long process. It's very overwhelming. It sets software vendors under pressure to stand out. It's a lot about ticking boxes. We talked about that we miss like the human side somehow. That it's really a lot about spreadsheets, scoring systems, PDFs, and not about the real product and the real people behind it. So despite all these frustrations, why do you think are RFPs still around? And sometimes it feels like they are even growing in importance.
I think the one major part of this is on what kind of side this importance is growing. If I look on the whole process, there different people are involved. So I always worked for the product domain, so product management, product development, whatsoever. So I think it's less from the product management part of the game. It's more about compliance in the end. I think there are other people which are involved, which have a huge interest to have this standardized process, to have, I don't know, a clear, transparent comparison about solutions and whatsoever. So I think there are different players in the game of choosing a right solution. And I think, speaking for the product side of the process, they are definitely interested in the people I will work with. They are interested in the solution itself, but there are others which are still focusing on the, I don't know, commercials, first of all, the compliance things, and so on and so on. And I think this is the major part which makes it so important to have a standardized process.
So last time we also talked about how RFPs choose the safest option in terms of legal information security, data security, like everything that can have very expensive consequences if you take the wrong decision. So like in a world where we are today, software choices are growing in importance. Budgets are really under pressure, and many retailers face a lot of volatility in the economic world. So why do you think the core function in an RFP is still so valuable? And do you see differences when it comes to sizes of companies or structures of companies in how they choose software vendors?
Definitely. I think starting from tinier companies, mid-sized companies, potentially where the owner itself is still around, which is able or has the decision power to, I don't know, influence the decision. I think there on all this kind of processes, small to mid-size whatsoever, there's a bigger chance to get really in contact with the right people, to have this kind of relationship in the process. But if it is about larger companies, enterprise setups, where different people are involved, if the company is listed on the stock market, for example, and so on and so on. So there it's even harder to have this people thing in between. And there, I think the RFP and all the standards are still the major thing.
So now let's look into the future. If you would redesign RFP processes from scratch, what's the first thing you would change?
So we didn't touch the AI topic until now. I think there are chances to involve AI somehow. And I see there, I don't know, at least two major things. So one is on the vendor side. So, for example, if a vendor has all the information, all the features in depth with descriptions and feature, I don't know, details about every feature and so on, and maintaining those also for APIs and stuff, then this can be, I don't know, consumed by an AI process to just have crazy ideas there. So this is one part. And on the other side, I think there is a good chance that companies itself try to, I don't know, document their processes with the help of AI to really speed up the processes and the whole thing to describe their use cases, their needs. And if we have two sides of this, so the vendor side of features and the company side of needs, then this can be put together, and maybe this can speed up the whole evaluation thing to, I don't know, avoid manual work of doing this checkbox game.
And do you think the main advantage would be speed, or what's the effect on like the quality of the evaluation if it's very heavy AI supported? Is it still, do you still choose the safe option, or?
Yeah, first of all, I do see the chance that in the processes, topics will be mentioned which are helpful, which are, let's say, gold standard in the specific area of the company. Because I don't know if the whole knowledge of the, let's say, world is combined into this or is put into this, then there can be things integrated which were not on the mind of the people of the in the mind of the people which are involved. So if just somebody from the from a specific department of a company is just writing their needs, then this is very specific just for their needs, and there might be a chance that they are missing some good things which are not prominent in that moment. And I don't know, having an assistant somehow could make sure that, I don't know, 360-degree view onto the topic is involved into this.
So you would suggest AI more as assisting the process and not really taking over the process?
I think there might be different aspects how deep AI is involved. First of all, as you said, I can think about an assistant, which, I don't know, on the company side is assisting to really provide a good and comprehensive documentation about the needs, to really make sure the right things are involved, and maybe challenging already things where people which were mentioned by people. So questioning things from people who try to put it in the list, to have something like a shit check. Is it the right term? I don't know.
Okay. Last time we already talked about the human side of RFPs, and from a software vendor perspective, it's like an RFP process is very quantitative. It's about ticking boxes. It's about giving the right answers in documents. It's about Excel spreadsheets, huge Excel spreadsheets, and scoring systems. And from a software vendor perspective, sometimes the human side is missing. Like, what's your view on that? How do you, or how would you design an RFP process so that the human side still gets the attention it needs without compromising the effect that you need to choose the best product in the end?
As we talked already about it, I think this depends on the size of the company. So how relevant is this aspect that specific people are separated from the vendor? So if there is a bigger process and compliance is a major important topic, and the vendor is not allowed to reach out directly to the people of the um, teams which will use the software in the future. So if there are natural barriers that they are not allowed to get in touch, then there is no people thing, there is no relationship, because the whole process is in front of that, before reaching a certain step in a process where really this contact is allowed. And this is an important topic and is challenging, because there is no relationship at first, probably.
But do you think, like, when you choose a software, either on the retail side or in your role as an agency to support a retailer, how important is the human side for you? How important are the people you want to do business with?
It is definitely important. Recently, I was in contact with a person who was working in the customer success management, and we had a good debate about this and how important this is, because usually there are people involved doing the sales process, doing consultant work in the process, and then they're somehow gone. And then they're handing over and saying, okay, welcome. This is your new colleague. It's your customer success manager, and he's taking care about you. Bye. So, and there is a great cut. And if this is done well, so imagine their customer success is already somehow involved, so the company is getting in touch with those kind of colleagues as well. I think this is a good example, because this can be then valuable, because one aspect of choosing a software and buying a software is looking to the future to participate about new features, about natural development of a software, which is not there if you build something on your own. Then you are responsible for implementing new features and so on. And having a good relationship, having a close contact with, as I said, customer success management, this increases the chance to get in close contact, to make the best out of the solution, which develops over time in best case.
And now you have talked about how AI could support an RFP process. What do you think needs to be shifted in, like, the people's mindset to make RFPs better, to maybe give it more like the product that touch you mentioned, more or less about choosing the safest option, maybe taking a risk for like a better product choice? Do you think that that's an issue?
Depends. So again, based on the size of the company, if, for example, there's a dedicated department for buying software, buying things, then they do their thing on their own, and maybe they're just doing interviews with the product people and getting their knowledge and involve this into the process. I think the way better decision can be made if the product people itself, the people, the teams which are actually using the software, which are running the software, which are maintaining and integrating the software. So the better they are involved, the earlier they can really get an idea what the solution is about. This can increase the success rate somehow, because this definitely might lead to better decisions in the end, I think.
And so finally, final question. If you had one piece of advice for a company about to issue an RFP and one piece of advice for a software vendor about to respond to an RFP, what would you tell them?
Looking first on the company side, I think one major thing is that the company itself should be aware of their needs and being, first of all, open-minded, because just focusing what is already there, what is already known, is not a good option, because especially nowadays things are developing so rapidly, so fast, that it's hard to just focusing on what is already there. So advice to companies would be open-minded, be flexible, to be I don't know, influenced and also inspired by new things, because nobody is really able to have everything in the view. Yeah, be curious and open-minded for better, smarter solutions which you can't imagine today, I would say. And on the vendor side, they probably do good things if they, I don't know, support their potential customers looking into that direction. So I think this might be very helpful to influence, to inspire already, to maybe surprise companies with potential solutions which they can't imagine today. Yeah, in best case, looking for companies which are in that kind of mindset, if this is possible.
Okay, Anne, thank you very much for giving us so many insights, for bringing your knowledge to the table and discussing with me. I think it was a very valuable discussion, and we have uncovered a lot what companies and software vendors could do better in RFPs. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.